It seemed like a great deal, a government-owned foreclosure that was in good shape and at a great price. But now a Snohomish County man is facing a harsh reality.
He's realized his investment could actually be more of a money pit. As Jesse Jones explains, just because you're buying from the government doesn't mean there can't be issues.
From the street, Brian Schrader's new home looks great.
I like the style of it, the size of the house.
But below the surface is a dirty little secret that this first-time homebuyer never expected.
Why would they do something like this?
Brian bought his home in April. It was a Fannie Mae-owned foreclosure.
If it's government-owned, they figured they'd be putting the money into it, you know, and helping people out, getting everything right.
What Brian didn't know was Fannie Mae had put money into the house.
This was a different color. Looks like
the work was tied to an offer made by a different buyer 5 months earlier. But questionable workmanship landed the home back on the market.
This is not an unusual process, and I think people should be aware.
Kirk Ledoux and Scott Hodis are with Skyline Properties. They represented the buyer who made the first offer. The brokers say the deal was going well until the inspection.
And during our inspection, we found out that the siding had failed, particle board type siding.
The inspector's report described the siding as rotten and moisture damaged and recommended it be replaced. Kirk made the request to Fannie Mae's agent. Nearly a month later, they finally got approval. But when the repairs started, it wasn't the work Kirk or his buyer expected.
Instead of removing the rotten siding, they were just installing right over top of it. And not only were they doing that, they weren't doing it to standards.
Kirk snapped these pictures of the work. You can see the new siding in over the old. And it also appears the contractors failed to completely wrap the home in a vapor barrier. That's a sheeting that protects a structure from moisture.
You're creating a scenario where you're going to have moisture problems and a potential for mold down the road. I mean, and it's just not right. I mean, these guys knew they were doing substandard work.
Kirk contacted the listing broker contracted by Fannie Mae. Several days later, they came back with this email confirming the work would move forward and negotiations weren't an option.
They said they didn't care. They're going to put it back on the market. The market's going up, so the next buyer will pay more money for it than we will anyway.
Kirk's buyer walked away from the house, and Fannie Mae completed the repairs and put the home back on the market. And just weeks later, Brian made his offer, unaware of what he bought. Until I called him.
We didn't know, so I mean, this is just news to us.
Brian admits he did not pay for a formal inspection. Instead, he did his own. But the problems were hidden behind the new siding, so it would have been difficult for even an experienced inspector to catch the issues. And since Fannie Mae's contracts include an as-is section, Brian has no recourse.
It sucks, because just looking at it, you know, you didn't think that something like that would happen. Now, trying to figure out what else is their problems, what else am I going to have later down the road.
I contacted Fannie Mae about the repairs made to Brian's house. They wouldn't give me any details about their process, but did say, "We believe the repairs on this property were completed in full and done appropriately. In this case, it is our understanding that the buyer did perform an inspection before purchasing the property and no concerns were registered." Bottom line, get the details on a property and find out why previous offers fell through. Ask for disclosure forms and be aware of waivers and releases on property conditions, because what you can't see may cost you big time in the end. Now, this is a story we will continue to investigate. We've heard of more troubled Fannie Mae deals since we started on Brian's story. So if this has happened to you, drop me a note or give me a call. We're going to be on this one for a while, I feel.
More of them out there.
That's right.
Wow. Thank you.
Jesse.
If you need to get Jesse, call him at 1-877-51-JESSE. That's 1-877-515-3773. Or you can email him at getjesse@king5.com.